All right, next up is Ray Zupp. Where's Ray? Coming up, Ray. Ray Zupp is a scenic designer who grew up in Dayton, Ohio, graduated from the University of Evansville in Indiana with a BFA in theatrical design. Since leaving his alma mater 4 years ago, he's traveled and worked all over the country designing for both theater and television, working on shows for ABC, Fox, The Hub, OWN, HBO, NBC, and Netflix. As an actor, he has performed in England and on various stages here in the U.S., and as well as working in television and film, he happily calls Dayton his home base. Welcome, Ray.
All right, I may be an actor, but I'm a terrible public speaker. No, actually. So what I do is I'm a scenic designer. Well, there was a little hand in there. I'm terrible with computers, too. It did say creation. But yeah, you work for 4 years to get a BFA in scenic design so you can play God for a living. There we go. There's God's hand coming in there. Yeah, so I get to, basically anything I see in my head, I get to put it into the real world, which is awesome. I get to make you see what I went to. So this is step one. These are like my rough sketches and renderings, and so I take the ideas when I'm given a script for a show, these are all theater productions. I take them and I just start doodling, and then I have meetings back and forth with the director and the creative team, and then from there it goes into a model. This is actually a model for The Pillow Man, which is an excellent play by Martin McDonough. So this is how I work. I work in small scale. So this is actually a 1/4-inch scale model. I always do a model for all of my set designs, so it's fun because I get to play with little toys for a living. This is one of my designs from college. This is actually Winter's Tale. And what I love is taking a show and thinking outside the box. So that's supposed to be, if you know Winter's Tale, that's Cecilia. There's Bohemia, but that's actually about 200 feet of China silk at the top that actually drops down at one point in the show. So it's like taking the smallest things and making them different. This is the Nutcracker. I don't know if any of you just saw this. Did everybody? Raise the hands who saw Nutcracker. Great. So this was the model for that. It's a light box. I don't always put lights in my set models, but when I do, it makes it look prettier. So so this is the model for Act 1, and then that's what it ended up looking like when it's translated to stage. And if you saw it, then that middle wall goes up, and it's all about taking this small space, like this is a proscenium theater, taking this small space and creating something that can easily translate and move, and it's just fun to play pretend. So here's another example of taking a model and then going into real world. And this kind of theater is actually, because there's actually 3 kinds of theater. There's a proscenium, which you used to at Victoria and Schuster. There's the round, which is this is a 800-seat theater in the round, and then there is a thrust stage as well. So the round stage is a lot more challenging. This was an overhaul for Cinderella, that I also did for the Dayton Ballet. That was my first job with them. And for that, it was a challenge just taking what already existed and making it something completely different. So going from 1920s New Orleans to what you're used to seeing for Cinderella, more European, more fairy tale-like. I've also worked on really trashy reality shows. This was my first reality show, Seducing Cindy. Cindy Margolis, the internet's most downloaded woman in the 90s, was looking for love. So this was the wedding that that's the first episode. So they knew what they were getting into from the beginning. I also designed a Korean pop show, a talk show. That was interesting. I learned a lot about Korean pop. It's K-pop. It's terrifying and cool at the same time. But this was cool because I got to actually have my own art on there. So that's my hand drawing just blown up huge. And oh, this is, I worked on Brothers and Sisters for ABC. This was from season 5, which was cool for me because I got to take my theatrical background and throw it onto a stage. So they had to have something that looked like a middle school would have designed it or built it. So yeah, it's a little bit of a stretch, but it's Hollywood. So I also, for a living, scenic paint. That's part of what I also do. This is at the Human Race. This was for Caroline or Change, I think. Yes. So I got to paint a moon, and it's fun getting to take things that are real and try to recreate them with paint and latex paint, doing like fake brickwork. This was Oliver, actually, at the Human Race Theater. If there's one thing I hate doing, it's making bricks, It's very mundane and boring, but it pays off and it looks really pretty. We use this great stuff called Jack Sand, which sticks to your skin and rips off the hair, but it's a cool end product. I don't suggest it for a bikini wax. My grandmother would have been really proud of me. She was a painter. I had never painted flowers before, but this is another human race production. And I got to do a giant floral painting as my first floor painting. Floral painting. Floral floor painting. I also did, part of my degree was also doing costume design. The one on the left is for the tragical history of Dr. Faustus. I actually won a Kennedy Center Award for that one, which is cool. And the other one is for color girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow is enough. Two really wonderful shows. This is Shrek. Do you know the Muffin Man? There's the Gingerbread Man. That's Gingy. He went from, so you could see where I started with an original rendering, and that was for that theater in the round. So it's a challenge designing for the round because you can't hide anything. So this one was interesting because we actually had like floor traps. So these are puppets for Zoot. If you don't know Zoot Puppet Theater Company, check them out. They're awesome. Support them. They're great. You can see Tristan in the background. But this is for Alice in Wonderland. So there's the King and Queen, the Caterpillar, the Duchess. Yeah, I like creating things, clearly. And then I love to draw. So I was fortunate enough a couple years ago to spend about a year in England and travel. So I actually sat in front of a little wooden statue in the Louvre and drew that one. And then Camden Town, my favorite area. Amy Winehouse makes so much sense after spending time there. Those were her stomping grounds. I don't know if any of you have been to Ghost Like Coffee. You should. It's awesome. I also designed their logos and stuff. But I did an art show there last October. Clearly, I idolized Tim Burton a little bit. I'm a little dark-sided. So these are two of my drawings from that Lady Death. This is a photograph I took in Florida, and it's my inspiration for everything. It's a dragonfly, but if you look at it, it almost has human features and qualities, and it makes you think of like a fairy or magic or something like that. And it's, for me, taking everyday things and making them magical. So, yeah. Thank you.